Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the FILTA Group Holdings Annual General Meeting. Throughout this meeting, attendees will be in listen-only mode. The company will host a short Q&A and answer session post today's formal proceedings, where questions can be submitted via the Q&A tab situated on the right-hand corner of your screen. Please just simply type in your question and press send. The company may not be in a position to answer every question it receives during the meeting itself. However, the company will review all questions submitted today and publish responses where it's appropriate to do so. These will be available via your Investor Meet Company dashboard, and we will send you an email to notify you when they're ready for your review. I'd also like to remind you that this presentation is being recorded and meeting is being recorded. I'd now like to hand over to Tim Warrelledge, Chairman from FILTA Group Holdings. Good morning to you.
Thank you, Mark. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to this meeting. Thank you for taking the time to join us via the webinar. My name is Tim Warrelledge. I am the Chairman of the company and will be chairing the AGM today. As the time is now past 11 o'clock and everyone has joined, I'm pleased to open the 2021 Annual General Meeting of FILTA Group Holdings PLC. Obviously, the format of this meeting is a little different from our previous AGMs, and we're glad to have you here with us. Earlier this morning, we released a trading update in order that shareholders may be brought up to date with our current trading. I do not propose to read the statement, but it is available for viewing on both the company's website and the London Stock Exchange website. For this morning's AGM, I'm joined by Roscoe Jurosovich, an Executive Director of the company, in the room with me. Also joining remotely are Jason Sayers, CEO, and Brian Hogan, CFO, who've dialed in from a very early hour in Orlando this morning. I will begin by conducting the formal business of the AGM before handing over to Jason for a short presentation, followed by a Q&A session where we will endeavour to answer questions from the audience. Shareholders were given the opportunity to submit questions through the platform in advance of the AGM, and questions can also be submitted to our team at any time during the meeting using the Q&A function of the video conference facility that Mark described earlier. Now down to the formal business. We have two members present in the form of Roscoe and myself, in person or by proxy. I therefore declare that a quorum is present and we can commence the formal business of the meeting. Today's meeting was called by a notice of annual general meeting dated 5th of May 2021. That notice contained details of various resolutions, and the meeting has been called for the purpose of considering and, if thought fit, passing those resolutions. As the terms of the resolutions are set out in full in the notice, I'll take these as read. As chair of the meeting, I direct that all resolutions to be put to the meeting be taken on a poll to ensure that the proxy votes of all our members not in attendance today are counted on those resolutions. The results of the poll vote on each resolution will be announced and published on the company's website as soon as reasonably practicable following the conclusion of the meeting. I will now summarise the resolutions, put the resolutions to the meeting, and then open voting on a poll. The actual terms of the resolutions are set out in full in the notice. So there are the following 7 ordinary resolutions. 1. To receive the company's audited accounts for the financial period ended 31 December 2020, together with the director's report and the auditor's report thereon. 2. To approve the director's remuneration report for the year ended 31 December 2020. 3. To reappoint Jason Sayers as a director of the company, who retires in accordance with Article 23 of the company's Articles of Association. 4. To reappoint Roy Sayers as a director of the company, who retires in accordance with Article 23 of the company's Articles of Association. 5. To reappoint Crowe UK LLP as auditors to the company to hold office from the conclusion of this meeting until the conclusion of the next annual general meeting of the company, at which accounts of the company are presented. 6. To authorise the directors of the company to fix the auditor's remuneration. And finally, Resolution 7 is the ordinary resolution which seeks to authorise the directors to allot shares up to the limits set out in the notice of meeting. There is also a special resolution, Resolution 8. This seeks authority to disapply preemption rights up to the specific limits as set out in the notice. Since all shareholders were encouraged to submit their proxy in advance of the AGM, we've collated the results of the poll, and I'm pleased to confirm that all the resolutions have been passed with over 99% of the votes in favour of each. The detailed voting figures will be released via RNS and published on the company's website as soon as reasonably practicable. I'm pleased to say that this concludes the formal business of the meeting, and I now declare the meeting closed, and I will hand over to Jason to give his presentation and to assist with the Q&A session. Jason, over to you.
Thank you, Tim. Just a quick update and overview. It shouldn't take long here. So many people have seen this slide, which we introduced earlier in the year, which describes our services in the commercial kitchens. You can see filter, fry, fog, seal, pump, and vent. So I want to focus on the fog side of things. And we introduced a new GRU, the Cyclone GRU. It's on our website and was announced earlier in the year. We introduced this probably September last year into the market. So we have exclusive 10-year contract for this equipment and recently signed for different markets. But I just want to take you through how good it is. So it's really transforming the industry out there. There hasn't been any new inventions in this market for probably 20 years now. And this is the first one to do that. So we use, water comes in and there's cyclones that separate the oil and water before it then goes through to a normal separation. So we recover a lot more oil. And for our sites that install these, they normally get about £400 worth of oil out of it a year to pay for the unit. No odours. So a lot of the equipment on the market today smells in kitchens. No odours for this. Easy staff maintenance. One of the most important things is low power costs. So we can save £300 to £500 a year over other units in heating costs because we use less heater there. So this is the reason a lot of our national accounts now are specifying this unit for their future use in their estates. Another one is in North America, the post-COVID recovery. You can see here, this is our network revenue. So this is the franchise owner's revenue in millions of dollars per month. And as you can see, last January, February, it rose from 4.4 million, 4.6 million, and then dipped end of March. And then obviously April was the lowest point. And you can see it continue to rise. And we've really had accelerating growth this year to a point where in April, we were back to prior year or pre-COVID revenues. I won't say prior year because prior year was low. And it's continuing to run. So that's really great news in the States, and you can see the continued growth here. A bit of an update on the ESG integration. We've now engaged a consultant who starts next week. And as everyone here, shareholders are aware, we really are an environmental company. Our services are environmental. So we're looking forward to digging into that. And most importantly, engaging with our key customers over their requirements. That's another way to engage with our key customers in the US and the UK and Germany. And from a summary and outlook point of view, the overarching message is that our industry sector is recovering quickly. We expect it to return fully by the end of the year so we can get back to full growth mode next year, 2022. Margins have improved and we have the infrastructure now in place to grow the business quickly. The next 2 years is all about sales for us. The majority of our resources going into driving this. We will continue to seek acquisitions and we're pretty excited about the market conditions over the coming years. Really, that was the quick presentation and really back to Tim.
That's very kind, Jason. Maybe I could just interlude just to allow investors to perhaps and attendees to submit questions. So please do continue to submit any questions you may have using the Q&A tab situated on the right-hand corner of your screen. I'd also like to remind you that a recording of this presentation, along with a copy of the slides and the Q&A, can be accessed via your Investor Meet company dashboard. And also that your feedback is important to the company, and that immediately after this meeting has ended, you'll be redirected for the opportunity to provide feedback in order that the company can better understand your views and expectations. Jason, I've looked in the Q&A section. We don't have any questions submitted thus far. And therefore, perhaps I could redirect myself back to Tim. Maybe I could ask you, Tim, for a few closing comments to close the meeting off before I redirect investors and attendees to give you feedback.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining us at the meeting today. I hope you found the presentation instructive, notwithstanding the lack of any questions. If some questions should occur to you, feel free to get in touch with the company, and we can help you maybe to deal with any outstanding questions you have. We hope also that you may rejoin us at subsequent investor presentations as we endeavour to keep our shareholders and others informed of our progress. Thank you again, and that concludes this meeting.
Thank you very much indeed, Tim. Could I please ask attendees not to close this session, as we'll now automatically redirect you for the opportunity to provide your feedback in order that the board can better understand your views and expectations. This will only take a few moments to complete, and I'm sure will be greatly valued by the company. On behalf of the board of FILTA Group Holdings, I'd like to thank you very much for attending today's meeting. That now concludes today's session, and good morning to you all.